Alright, gameplay's paused. What? Alright, alright. Hopefully that one is showing, yes. The one on GT7. Anybody? I'll look myself. I want to make sure this is running. Be okay, yeah, that is running. Alright, so now this is part 2 of my last video. And let's see the load. We'll load the design. And this is what comes up for the Lady Death one. That's not what it should be. This is what pops up. Telling me that some of my decals have been deleted from GT Sport. However, let the car pan around. You notice that some of the design is there. Like the face and everything is all missing. The spot on the roof for her design is also missing on that car. And I can't even pull up any other ones. It's just showing me this car. Alright, so now we'll go into the garage and we'll change the car. Hopefully there'll be no issues with the game stopping while I'm recording. Blah blah blah. Alright, so we'll go in here. I'll show you the car that actually loaded up properly. Which is this one here. This one loaded up fine. This one I had no problems with. However, let's see if the other designs will work. We'll go library editor, we'll open design. The Soul Reaver one is fine. See if this one will work. Yep. Decals have been deleted from GT Sport, which we've already seen in the other video that they still exist. Or else my cars would not have decals on them. And this is what I reported to, I called Sony personally yesterday and told them about the issue. So this car is fine. Ha! This car is fine. This one is alright. But when it came to the Legacy of Kain, both of them were broken. And to be honest and tell you the truth, I am not going to work on any more cars with this error constantly popping up. So if I go into the library editor here, I'll show you the actual stickers. Go to the original design, that's fine. Alright, so if we go, and my favorites are gone too. And I put all of these, alright, so this one, if you go back to a few, like, past video, I did a Halloween car, which has this, and then this one on there. But the main stickers, which consisted of the house, are gone. The fall leaf that was also put in there is gone. The raccoon emblem is gone, which should be here, but isn't. The pumpkin's fine, and the eye coverings are fine. The succubus, which is a car design that I was working on. Anubis's car design is here. My FL Studio logo is gone. Or is that it? No, that's a Halloween one. So Soul Reaver's here. Halloween's here, both logos. Michael Myers himself. And then Raziel's silhouettes here. Those three. Those are there, the Soul Reaver things there, the Soul Reaver emblem and Legacy of Kain. The Ankh is still there. The Mummy is still there. The skulls are still there, the YouTube, and then both the lightning ones, which I really don't care for this one. But some people like it, so it's whatever, they can use it. And then you got this one, and then the channel name. But yeah, I have liveries that are missing from GT Sport, which should have been crossed over into Gran Turismo 7. But, you know, everybody's on about microtransactions and all this. You know, this is a major bug. Right now, this should be fixed before, or should be fixed with the microtransaction thing. But yeah, if anyone out there has created any cars on Sport and plan to move them over on GT7, fair warning now, most of your stuff probably will not show up. It will either tell you that they've been deleted off of GT Sport, and you'll probably have to re-upload them. That would probably be the fix around for it. So if you have your old designs, you will have to re-upload them into the format, which is SVG, which honestly, SVG is the worst concept for design, to be honest, because you can't, unless you're using like Image Ready. Image Ready is good for doing that sort of thing. There's another program that I use for making SVGs. But you have to make so many layers in order to get the good picture out of what you plan on making. And you have to put it layer on layer on layer on layer on layer. And I've made this perfectly clear to Polyphony and, you know, people out there who play this game. I hate to say it, but JPEGs are so much easier because you could do it all in one sitting and it's done. SVG, you have to make so many layers in order to get even remotely what you want for your images. So like if I wanted to add shading to this pumpkin, So I would have the outline of the pumpkin, and then I would have like a another pumpkin, but sort of fatter pumpkin with, what the freak do they call that? Let's see here. Alright, so like the shading. So you'd have to make your solid design, and then you would have to make your shading, and then on top of that you would have to use your lettering if you want lettering in there, and then anything else for a special design you'd also, so it's like 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 layers in order to make one standalone picture. Now, some people can say, "Well, SVG is better." No, it's not, because you have to use and submit so many layers, and they have to be of 15 kilobytes. 15 kilobytes for your car. That's very, very, very small. And then you gotta hope that the SVG will blow up to the size of how it's gonna look right on the car. I mean, theoretically, yes, if you're using JPEG, you could have like blurriness and stuff like that, but that can be easily rectified with, you know, boosting the size of the images. But yeah, I mean, 15 kilobytes for an image is pretty dinky. Let me show you how. Let's see. We'll put. Alright, so if this was the palette, your images would have to be that small. That tiny. Maybe in some cases even tinier, if you're using like Photoshop or anything of that matter. I mean, there is one that I use, Inkdesk. I think that's what it is. Let me see here. I can look on my computer. P, C, D, F, G, H, I. Or Inkscape. Inkscape! Yes, Inkscape. 15 kilobytes, which is an image about that size. Or you could have an image that's like totally blacked out like that without any detail. But you have to use so many freaking layers. So SVG being the best? No. To making logos, SVG is not the best. And I've done my research on it, and SVG is not the best to make logos. I've tried with this one, the Michael Myers one. I did this one. This one works. And then I tried to make an opaque one to add detail. Well, the opaque one actually comes up with more kilobytes than was designated for you to upload to GT Sport. So if unless you're doing like simple things like alright, let's get rid of this. Unless you're doing like simple designs like this, and then adding in your opaque, which would probably... Don't care. I'm streaming. Right. Anyways, you would have to, it would be, so instead of 15, which is like this image here, simple square, some of the opaques can be like 25, 30, and you'd have to make them smaller. Problem is with image, or with Inkscape, you can't shrink them unless you're using code. And sometimes, even with that it doesn't even work. They remain the same size and they were when the image was first created. And I've tried using the code, tried shrinking them down, and none of it works. So, for those who are saying that SVG is better, I mean, you might have a valid point, but to be honest, 15 kilobytes with full detail and layer and layer and layer and layer and layer, you're taking up more space than a JPEG would. Just saying. So that's going to be the end of this, and hopefully people share it and show what's going on as far as car designs. Yeah, I wanted to show everybody what's going on with GT, and I do design cars. I like designing cars, and ever since I saw this in GT Sport, it really turned me on to the game. I mean, you don't have this in Need for Speed, which is sort of sad that you can't design your own logos, but that's EA for you. But hopefully with the new one we'll see something different, but you know, cross my fingers to hoping and knock on wood. But yeah, this is it, and the lowdown of what's going on in sport with the crossover of liveries into GT7. If you guys are suffering the same issue, get the word out there. Let them know that you are having issues with your cars. But, you know, in the same time, there is possibly, like I said earlier, a fix that you have to re-download everything that you put on GT Sport onto GT7. So, I am out of here. Everybody have a good day, and later.